then here comes Sunday morning, and they had all this stuff out. And they used to say you can't wear deodorant, but that really was a little too much.
For reals.
But anyway, then
That's a
they
big
were
fuss.
showing it, they did it as an example because Christians have rules.
Right.
Pharisees and Sadducees have rules,
Right.
laws, but they wanted to expound on the fact that we live by grace and we don't have to have rules. We can wear jeans to church and some of your Sunday clothing,
Yeah.
like you had to when we were kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so wonderful.
Where I met Pastor Christie at that church, I remember having a softball game one day. We were in a softball league, but we also were in renewal at the same time. So what I mean by that, it was a revival, and we had church every night for like a year and a half, every single night. And so I went straight from my softball game to church, because I was on worship team and I helped lead and stuff. But that night I was playing the drums because our drummer couldn't make it that night, so I was on drums. And I came straight from the ball field in my uniform and everything and my hat on. And at that time I actually had hair, okay? I actually did have options on what to do with my hair. So, but my option that night was I had a softball hat on because I did have hair and I played softball, I had my hat on. If I took that hat off, I would have had hat head.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to have hat head at church, so I just left my whole uniform on, including my hat. So I get on the stage and I'm playing drums during worship, and I had this mother in the church came and nearly crucified me. Said, "You gotta take that hat off. You can't wear a hat in the church." I'm like, I beg to differ. I don't think God cares. That's disrespectful. I need you to take that hat off. I go, let me tell you what's disrespectful. If I take this hat off, you're going to see some serious hat head. That's going to be more distracting than this hat. Let me tell you, I just came from the softball field. She insisted. But because I was a pastor in the church, I didn't care that she insisted. I said, have a seat. I'm wearing the hat, right? So then I had to have this big discussion with my pastor, and then he explained her viewpoint. I go, okay, let me explain mine. And that led to an entire shift. Because does God really care if you have a hat on to praise Him or not? Mm-mm. Now you see in the church, worship teams with jeans on. People, in fact, to be honest with you, I go to some churches where they're very relaxed on that, those kind of rules, wearing jeans and t-shirts, hats, beanie caps, right? Colby, bless his heart, he's got to wear a bright hunting orange beanie cap, worshiping God, but I don't care. You know why? Because my nephew's worshiping God.
And he's here.
He's worshiping God. Do we care? No, we don't care. My son just got his third tattoo, I think, in like 3 months. I never thought my son would ever get tattoos because I'm not a tattoo guy, okay? I'm not a tattoo guy. I never thought he would ever get tattoos, but he got one. He's got one on his leg, now 2 on his arms, and I thought, really, son? Like, really? But here's what I'm here to tell you. Is on his birthday, he could have asked for anything. But he texted his mom and dad, said, hey, for my birthday, do you want to go to church with me tonight? Because he goes to church in Portland. This is why, as a pastor and a father, I don't care what you say about tattoos. I don't care what you say about hats in church. I don't care what you say about my son's fashion. Any son that's going to ask his parents to go to church with them for his birthday is all right in my book.
Amen.
It's all right in my book. We got to get off our high horse and understand that God doesn't care. So we went to church with him. And what's really interesting is that when you go to a church that's free from the law, sleeves of tattoos everywhere, ripped up jeans on the platform, t-shirts, not button-up shirts. Their worship is more authentic than some revivals I go to where every man has to be suited up with a tie.
And I grew up in that.
I did too. I did too. We were in tent revivals. You go to a tent revival on dirt and they threw hay on the ground and you're in a tent and everybody's suited up with a tie. Now listen, I believe in giving God our best, so if we dress up every once in a while, I'm okay with that too. Sometimes I'll dress up just to honor God in giving Him my best today, right? But let's not get caught up on the law, thinking that we have to be in suits and ties and no hats on the stage, and it's just ridiculous.
Jesus didn't wear a suit and tie.
Jesus didn't wear a suit and tie, that's true.
David
Okay.
showed us how to worship.
David showed us how to worship, that's right.
Very undignified.
And undignified, that's right. So that's a hypocrisy. Watch out for the slander, and this is a big one with me. I'll tell you, this is a big pet peeve of mine. So if you're going to slander somebody, don't come to me, because I will shut you down in a New York second. I don't even care if you're right. Proverbs 18:21 says, slander is to speak down and against someone. As a new creation, we impart life through our words, not death. A big pet peeve of mine. I got into the elevator with another gentleman, and he was just telling me how much he loved our church and how much he loved our worship and all this other stuff, and then he, for some reason, he decided to tell me it wasn't like, I like this church because it's nothing like Joel Osteen. My ears perked up because I realized I knew what was coming next. And our elevator only goes up one floor. So it wasn't a very long ride. But in the short ride from this floor to the upper floor, I shut him down so hard, well, let's just say this, he doesn't come to this church anymore. But just from this floor to the auditorium floor, he blasted Joel Osteen, like blasted him. And you can have whatever opinion you want, but the Bible is very clear. We're not to slander anybody. Anybody. There's no reason to slander anybody. Our words are to be words of life. If you want to live in the realm of blessing, you got to watch out for the little fox of slander, because slander does not fit in the culture of the realm of blessing. It doesn't fit. So I don't care if you're right or wrong. It doesn't matter to me. We're not going to speak ill of anybody. If I speak ill of anybody, you'll notice I don't give names, and I'm only using it to illustrate a point. I shared with you that I have family members that have stabbed me in the back. That's speaking ill of them, maybe, if you think about it, but I'm never going to give you their names. There are politicians that I speak ill of without giving you their names. In fact, I don't even speak ill of them, to be honest, because I know you'll put it together. You'll, I know who you're talking about. We only have one president. Right? So I'm not going to speak ill of anybody. I'm not going to speak ill of our politicians here in the city. Slander is a big pet peeve of mine. There are a lot of pastors I don't agree with, but I won't speak down on them. Just won't do it. I won't do it, and you shouldn't either. I'm telling you, if you're not living in the realm of blessing, take inventory of your mouth and what you say about other people. Because if you're slandering people, I'm telling you, you're not living in the realm of blessing. You might be blessed here and there, but you're not living in the realm of blessing yet if you slander people. I won't do it, nor will. And if I hear my leadership doing it, I correct them. We don't talk bad about other people. Period. Period. With a big exclamation point. You had something?
Oh, no, I was doing my period.
Yep, period. Write that period. Write that period. What does it say in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 29? It says, do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen. I didn't make that up. It's in the Word of God. I'm speaking the truth. I didn't make that
The
up.
very first things when you become a Christian, or so I've been told, and as having personally experienced this, Is clean up your tongue.
Clean up your tongue. It is like, I mean, that's one of the first things, right? Because it's like a double-edged sword,
Yeah, that's what.
Your tongue is what
that's
commits
the number
murder.
one, yeah.
right? Your tongue is what commits murder. And yet slander runs so rampant in our church.
I don't ever hear anybody slander in this church.
That's good, because we try to keep that at bay. But it happens.
I never heard it.
But it happens. It happens. You might not have ever heard it, but it happens. I am proud to say that it happens less in our church than other churches. Yeah, gossip, slander, yeah. Yeah. Yep,
Telling
gossip.
somebody else's story that's not your story.
Yeah. Okay. Envy. Envy is like a little
Guilty.
box. Envy comes from discontent. Envy comes from discontent. It is a mortified feeling because of the success of another. Though not necessarily wanting to be elevated, envy seeks to downgrade others. The love of God, now poured into the Christian's heart, dispels all envy. So love trumps envy.
Now, I was kidding when I said I was envious of you the other day in my text. I texted you. You told me you were in a pastor's meeting, and I said, "Can you feel my green
Oh
with envy?"
yeah, that was sarcasm. Which
Yes,
is
it was.
another topic.
Guilty.
But I was kidding when I said I was envious.
I know, he did. He did. If I go back to my text, he says, I was just kidding.
Named yourself.
I was just kidding. But 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4, Pastor Christy and I talked about this in our message. Love does not envy. Love does not envy. And this is what I like. I believe that, I don't know when it's going to happen, but I do believe it's going to happen soon. I just believe that the Woods will have a new car. And it'll be one that they're going to love and be proud of. It may not be the exact car like mine, but it's probably going to be better for them. Why do I? Two cars?
new cars.
Two. Oh, Pastor Maria's prophesying 2 new cars. That's awesome.
2 Mercedes for
Let
you.
me tell you why. Let me tell you why. I believe that, number one, because Janine already mentioned that they learned a life lesson through all of that, through my shopping. But 2, I believe that Scott has envy under control.
Yes.
So he's not envying his pastor, right? He's learning from his pastor, but there's no envy.
Plus, it's
Right.
been a divine appointment for him to be with you to learn how.
Yeah, that's been
He's never done
established,
it
right?
before, so.
That's been established.
So there's a reason for it.
Now let me talk to you about envy. There's a difference between envying somebody and wanting or desiring what they have. Okay? There's a difference between envying and desiring what someone else has. Envy tries to downgrade the other person. Envy tries to downgrade the other person. So that's where Scott could have said, I can't believe Pastor's driving that Mercedes. He doesn't even he shouldn't even have that Mercedes. And I've worked harder than him and he blah, blah, blah. That's envy.
Yes.
Desiring what somebody else has is not envy. Okay? Envy is when you think you deserve it more than them, and so you start downgrading them in order to elevate yourself. That's envy. And that happens in the church all the time, especially when it comes to titles and positions, which is why we don't make a big deal about titles and positions. We honor titles and positions. Well, we honor the call, we honor the assignments, I should say. We honor that. That's why we don't have to, but I reference a lot of people by their calling, their assignment, whether it's bishop or pastor or one and the same or teacher or whatever. We honor that. We don't make a big deal about it. The reason we don't make a big deal about it is because too often people are envious of those positions and titles, and it causes issues, right? So then it starts becoming rampant in the church when someone believes they should be pastor over somebody else. And so they start downgrading the actual pastor to try to elevate themselves. That's envy. You can't live in the realm of blessing if that's what you're doing. You can't. And you know what? Here's the truth, is you may be more qualified. And you may have served. And maybe the person in the position really shouldn't be in there. To be honest, and I'm transparent, is I put people in positions that were probably, it was premature. I shouldn't have. And I take full responsibility for that. And I've shared with my board members, I ordained that person I should not have. I should not have. Oh, shit. Right? So I take responsibility for that. Sometimes that happens. Pastor makes a mistake. Puts someone in a position that they shouldn't have. Right? So in those cases, there is a hard reality that any of you might have been more qualified and should have been in that position over the person that actually is. That could be a hard reality. The question is how do you deal with it? How do you deal with it? Someone just got elevated before you. You really should have been elevated before them. How do you deal with it?
Keep positioning yourself
Thank you.
for when it is your time.
You wait and you position. You wait and you position. You continue serving. You continue obeying.
Yeah, I
You,
could have a different place for you that's even better than what we got.
very possible. Very
Just
possible.
wait on God.
Very possible. But in reality, what happens is people start slandering, start envying, they start belittling people. I can't believe Pastor put that person in there. He should never put that person. He doesn't even know that what they're doing and blah, blah, blah. And you start down talking that person to elevate yourself. Can't do that. That does not fit in the realm of blessing.
And that's the reason why they were not chosen to be in that position, because God knew their heart.
And that oftentimes is the truth, Sue.
Yeah.
That is oftentimes the truth.
99%.
And like I said earlier, and I hate saying this, I hate admitting this, but the reality is sometimes I make people wait just to see how they respond. It's part of the test. It's part of the test. Like, how are you going to respond if I don't elevate you? Because that's going to be telling, right? That's going to be telling. So you wait.
Yeah, see, that's a lot of responsibility to be elevated.
It really
So
is.
the chairperson's gonna be like, I need to make sure I'm ready, because I don't want that.
In fact-
Just to set myself up to fail.
Most of the people that are elevated are the ones that don't want to be elevated.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
That's a lot of the times the case. They're going to say, Pastor, no, I don't need a title. I don't need a position. And I'm going to say, that's exactly why I'm giving you the title and position. Because your humility is what really positions you for the work of the Lord. Pride gets in the way. Pride gets in the way. The prideful pastors, the prideful leaders, the prideful teachers, I could do without them. What I need are some humble people that are willing to put others before themselves. They're willing to sacrifice, willing to do the work. Those are the people that are really usually elevated, okay? There's the bond of peace. We'll finish with this. The bond of peace. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, since as members of one body you were called to peace. Colossians 3:15. The peace of God in our innermost being is a strong guide to let us know when these little foxes are attempting to enter our hearts and thereby destroy relationships. The moment that sense of inner peace is shaken, we can call on the grace of God to help us. Through His enabling, we overcome and unity is preserved. You will sense when those little foxes come. Okay? You can identify it. Now what do you do about it? You call on the grace of God. You call on the grace of God. Okay? Page 115 of my book, it says this. We have to position ourselves before each experience. We need to position ourselves before each blessing. Many of us have served God all of our lives, but we have not yet experienced the realm of blessing. This goes back to what Sue was saying. Been in church all our life, claim to be Christians, grew up in a Christian house, but we've not experienced the realm of blessing. How do we get there? So it says this. Many of us have served God all our lives, but we've not experienced yet the realm of blessings. Sure, we've been blessed. We woke up this morning and we can breathe. We may have had a cool Christmas present a time or two, but we have not yet reached the realm of blessing. We may have found a $20 bill in a gutter somewhere, but we have not yet reached the realm of blessing. What do I mean by that? There is a difference between receiving a blessing and living blessed. When you reach the realm of blessing, people will start talking about you. And this is key. When you reach the realm of blessing, people are going to start talking about you. When you reach the realm of blessing, people wonder what's going on with you. When you reach the realm of blessing, people start noticing a difference. When you reach the realm of blessing, your life will just be different. People will think you're rich. and you know you're not. When you reach the realm of blessing, people will wonder why you're so happy all the time. Maybe you're struggling to pay a few bills right now and you're wondering how in the world you can stay happy and count yourself blessed. But the truth is, your blessing awaits you whether you can pay your bills or not. When you live in the realm of blessings, people will wonder what's up with you. How are you blessed if your lights are about to be turned off? I don't know, but you're blessed. We don't need to worry about it, and we don't need to let it get us down. I live in the realm of blessing, and it doesn't matter if they're going to turn my water off or not. I'm confident that my God has me covered and that He is faithful to keep His promises. God says, keep your hands strong. He has a season of harvest just for you. He's ready to open up the windows of heaven and pour it out, His blessings upon you, but we need to be in position. In your realm of blessings, He wants to prosper you, but you have to get into position. In your realm of blessings, He wants you to have that new house, but you have to get into position. In your realm of blessings, He wants you to have that new car, but you have to get into position. In your realm of blessings, He wants to give you that promotion at work, but you have to get into position. Right, Mark?
Right.
In your realm of blessings, He wants to restore your marriage, but you need to get into position. In your realm of blessing, He wants to increase your finance, but you need to get into position. In your realm of blessings, He wants to heal you, but you have to get into position to be healed. We cry out for healing, but we're not positioning ourselves for healing. We can't ask for a healthier body and keep eating junk. This is all part of positioning yourself to live in the realm of blessing. You want peace in your life? Then position yourself to be peaceful. You want finances in your life? Then position yourself to live with finances. You want a new house? Position yourself to get a new house. Yes?
One time, a long time ago, I started painting houses and I dedicated my job to the Lord, so I never advertised or anything, but I just kept giving people word
Just
of
kept
mouth.
coming.
It just kept coming. When I first started out, Larry didn't allow me to tithe. And I said, I have to tithe, but no, I'm not gonna, it's my money, you can't tithe, because we put our money together. So I would just give.
I remember you telling me about that.
For people and whatever, all, and that was my way of tithing, which was more money than my.
Yeah.
But anyways, so years have gone by, and God spoke to me and says, I want you to double your tithe, and I will bless you. So I gave 10% to the church, and 10% I put aside. So when there was a call for money, like charity for the church or whatever that was needed, I would have plenty to give. It always went to the church, but I held it for specific reasons. And I gave my business to the Lord, like I said, and I never had a bounce check. I never had to file an insurance claim for anything. I never was sick or hurt on the job or anything. You know, God just totally blessed everything.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking at first, well, where's my blessing? I'm not seeing my blessing. I was thinking maybe I paid an increase or something like that. Foolish. But anyway, but over time and looking back, I was blessed abundantly in so many ways. Far better than I ever even imagined or thought. Because I doubled my tithe and did what He told me to do. So.
You're obedient, and you were positioning yourself for future blessings. You didn't even realize it, and then all of a sudden you got customer after customer after customer. It's a good example. All right, you guys, any questions? We're going to go into lunch break. Any questions? Other comments besides Sue's?
And just remind people to move their cars.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he
You might need
passed
to move
by
your
at
cars,
10 minutes
You
to.
might need to move your cars.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Comments, questions? Okay, don't forget that you're going to be presenting at the end of this next segment.
Right.
So make sure you're writing notes. Notes is what you would present, okay? All right? All right. Shall we pray over the food?
Yep.